Hey, I'm Johnny Luzzini. Welcome to my home. Today I'm here to demonstrate one of my favorite pieces of equipment, the Breville Polyscience Control Freak. I'm going to show you a dessert today that utilizes the Control Freak in a couple different ways. I love this piece of machinery because it's so even, it's so consistent, it's so precise, much like a pastry chef, that it allows me to do what I want, when I want, how I want, at the speed I want to do it. First thing that goes into the pan is honey. When I think about caramelizing sugar or anything else, I always think about how can I get the most possible flavor into what I'm doing. For this, I really want to caramelize this honey. So the first thing I do is I bring it up high. I have some clove, black pepper, star anise. I have some vanilla and cinnamon as well. What's amazing about the Control Freak is how even it is right away across the whole surface of my pan. It's boiling at an even level. While the spices are caramelizing, I'm gonna take some fresh ginger and just slice it. What I don't wanna do is caramelize my citrus. So I'm gonna peel it with a peeler, being very careful not to take any of the white. I'll prep my pears. Once it's kind of caramelized slowly together, I jack it up. I wanna get some high heat on there. If you don't caramelize the sugar, it's just sweet. Once you caramelize it, that's when you're getting into those notes of bitterness, of a different kind of flavor profile. So first is the cider, and then the second cider. And it's at this point that I'm gonna add my citrus. See how the whole pan, evenly, all those bubbles come up. So now I'm gonna prep the pears. A little scooper, right into the pear, and then I'll just take off just the stem across the top and bottom. So I'm gonna pour my poaching liquid directly over my pears. So I'm gonna get this on an ice bath. Into the immersion circulator. So I like to cook these longer than necessary. So I'll cook it at 80°C for usually overnight. And then an hour before I want to take them out, I'll jack it up to 84°C. The next component we're going to do is a goat's milk brown butter ice cream. Let's begin. In the pot on the Control Freak, we have already the glucose. To that, I'm going to add skim milk, sugar, glucose powder, goat's milk powder. And these are brown butter solid. The beauty of the Control Freak is the fact that I'm not ready to do my liaison yet. I have it set for 80 degrees. It's holding it at 80 degrees. It's waiting for me. Sugar, stabilizer. We always want to mix these together ahead of time. And then you introduce it into your liquid little by little, feather it in like I'm doing. My probe is telling me I'm at the proper temperature. A little bit of liquid at a time. What I'm doing is I'm tempering the eggs. I'm slowly bringing them to a like temperature. Everything goes back into the pot. So this is the beauty of the Control Freak. I'm able to set a program to cook it exactly the way I want. Low and slow, going to the exact precise temperature I want, being 82°C, and then holding it there for 2 minutes. And even at that point, I can control where I want it to go. Do I want it to shut off? Do I want it to lower the temperature? Do I want it to hold? Depending on what I'm cooking or what I'm serving or how I want to utilize the Control Freak, I can control this and program this any which way I want. Best omelets on earth, right here. Notice I'm not using a whisk. I'm using a rubber spatula. So all I want to do is keep it moving until I hear my alarm and it's ready to come off. Look at the bottom of the pot. Do you see any bits of egg? Nothing. It's all smooth, it's all rich, it's all delicious. The next recipe we're gonna do is something that we used to do at Jean-Georges all the time, my famous marshmallows. Rather than just use regular sugar, I have maple sugar. I love the flavor of maple sugar. It comes from upstate New York, just like me, and it's delicious. Now I've set a program on the Control Freak to cook my sugar to exactly the temperature I want. So in this case, it's 155°C. Turn it on, it's on fast temp. So we're just gonna let that go. I don't have to have my eyes on it because it's doing the watching for me. So the whites are in the bowl. We've added a little bit of cream of tartar, a little bit of sugar. We're gonna start to mount the whites. So I'm about 8 degrees away from where I wanna be. At this point, I'm gonna increase the speed of the meringue. Take your gelatin directly into the hot sugar. You're gonna stir it until all the gelatin melts and you get a nice syrup with no lumps. we have maple marshmallows, right? Beautiful, soft, supple. This is the texture you're looking for. So this is a mixture of potato starch, confectioner's sugar, and all the same spices that I used in the poaching liquid. And all I'm gonna do is pipe little rosettes. I kinda wanna always look for another level of flavor. How else can we introduce flavor? Okay, people always think about flavor being an ingredient. Well, since the Polyscience smoke gun has come out, it's trying to change the game for how chefs are introducing flavor through perception of aroma. I wanted to kind of breathe and let the smoke kind of come out of the trays over time, but it's gonna kind of give it a nice, beautiful flavor. All right, so we're ready to plate now. The first thing I wanna do is, again, thinking about textures, thinking about presentation. How can I deliver this in a way that still delivers the powerful flavors in a unique way, but also the contrast and textures and temperatures? Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is, rather than spin my ice cream in a traditional ice cream machine, why not just set it on the anti-griddle? So I'm just gonna use a couple molds. This is my base that's been chilled for a few hours now. Meanwhile, look at this. Perfectly poached. The color gradient is really what you wanna see. So often you see poached pears with almost like a smoke ring. You'll see a ring around the outside of where the flavor and the poaching liquid is permeated, but then it's still white on the inside. The fact that this was in the circulator for so long, all that flavor is all the way from the outside, all the way straight through the inside. So I'm gonna keep the shape that it's in. I think it's beautiful. This is a winter dessert for me. So I have beautiful fall and winter flavors and spices. Sage is like one of those things that goes with it. Sage is a strong flavor though, but I want something that's fresh, something floral, something that helps me, again, deliver and accentuate those flavors. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of chiffonade. Yep, I'm a pastry chef and I can chiffonade. Let's get our pear on. This is a great technique. I've taken white chocolate, 250 degrees, and just slowly roasted it, and I get this great brittle. I love this because it's not inherently sweet, and it brings a dynamic that I enjoy, especially with a roasted or a poached fruit like this. This is dulce. Again, caramelized flavors. This is sugar, that all I've done is caramelize the sugar on the control freak, poured it out of a silpat, and then ground it. I just want more of that flavor, that beautiful caramel flavor. It also is gonna give me a little bit of a crunch. Here you can see our disc of goat's milk brown butter ice cream. Okay, a little bit of sage. Here's our beautiful marshmallows that we've smoked. Look at that. And here is a little bit of my own homemade chocolate, bean to bar, that I've tempered, freeze-dried pomegranate powder. So I want to get that flavor of the robustness of the chocolate. I want to get that tartness from the pomegranate, a little bit of a crunch from the chocolate. Here's my caramelized, spiced, poached pear with maple smoked marshmallows, brown butter, goat's milk ice cream, pomegranate, chocolate, brown butter, deliciousness. It's the way we do it. Big thanks to Breville, Polyscience. Couldn't do what we do without you.